Let's talk about the dating traps. Are you making these common dating mistakes? In this video, I reveal the top 10 dating errors that might be keeping you from the love you desire. From simple misunderstandings to critical missteps, learn what to avoid to enhance your dating game. As a Christian dating coach who's been helping men like you for 7+ years, I'm here to guide you through it. Whether you're just getting back into the dating game or you've been trying to navigate it for a while, these insights will help you steer clear of pitfalls and move closer to meeting the beautiful girl of your dreams. That's important stuff to know, right? Well, as we dive into these 10 mistakes to avoid, I want to let you in on a little secret. The men who have mastered these lessons in my academy are now experiencing deeper connections and lasting relationships. This isn't just about avoiding common pitfalls. This is about building a foundation for a lasting love that can stand the test of time. So keep this in mind as we go through these mistakes. There's a proven path to success, and it's accessible to you too. Mistake number 1 is putting on a facade, pretending to be someone you're not. If we're being honest, pretty much everyone has at least been tempted to do this at some point. We want people to like us, or we're doing what is popular, what the popular things are that people are saying to do in order to get people to like you. For instance, acting aloof is a really good example of that. However, if we pretend to be something we're not, 1, we're going to be disappointed. We aren't going to feel fulfilled. And 2, the other person isn't actually going to fall in love with you. They're going to fall in love with this pretend version of yourself. And that's just a recipe for disaster. So pretending to be someone you're not and exaggerating qualities ultimately just leads to misunderstandings and disappointment. If you've been following me for a while, and especially if you've been in my academy, you know that everything I teach is based on the science of attraction and how to apply that in a way where you stay completely authentically you. You deserve someone who loves the real you. The real you. So don't put on a facade. Okay, the next mistake, which is so easy to do, is overthinking and overanalyzing. Things like overanalyzing and constantly worrying about yourself and what you're doing or the future of the relationship can bring on unnecessary stress and make it much harder to create that connection. Sometimes the best thing we can do in dating and relationships is embrace the nerves and just have fun with it anyway. Overthinking it is setting you up for more heartache, and that's the last thing you need. Trust me, as someone who has a very analytical mind, I know how easy it can be to overthink everything. However, you can teach yourself to stop doing that and instead direct your attention to more proactive things. And honestly, this is why as a coach, I have found presenting my clients with that step-by-step process helps a ton, because then you're not worrying about the what ifs, you just know what to do. So it's definitely a habit that can be broken. Okay, the next mistake is another really easy one to make. This mistake is moving too fast. At the end of the day, we all want love, right? We all want connection. So it can be very, very tempting as humans to try and make it happen really fast, especially when you're infatuated. However, moving too fast, especially if we're talking the more physical aspects of love, that right there is setting you up for heartache and disaster. Rushing into commitment or intimacy before you really get to know each other and before you know each other well can really just lead to misunderstandings and relationship burnout. Okay, the next mistake is ignoring red flags. Pretty much everyone is guilty of that at some point, especially when we're infatuated. It can be so easy to kind of just pretend the red flag wasn't there. But this is really one of the worst things you can do for your future happiness. Pretty much everyone who's unhappy in their relationship is unhappy because they settled. And one of the main ways we settle is by ignoring red flags, those warning signs, that gut instinct that maybe something isn't right with our relationship, or maybe this person has some of those toxic traits. So it doesn't matter how beautiful or charming she appears on the surface. If you have that gut feeling that this just isn't right. You want to heed that. Otherwise, it will just lead to heartache and disappointment down the line. Okay, the next mistake is one that I see made a lot. And this mistake is being too passive, always waiting for the other person to make a move. This is especially true in that women are... her feminine nature is craving your masculine nature. Okay, that's one of the reasons women are drawn to men, is she longs for your masculinity. However, if you're not pursuing her, if you're being too passive, that's not masculine, and it can cause even real authentic attraction to just kind of fizzle out and die. Now, a lot of people say to, act aloof, act uninterested, but in reality, what this does is it creates misunderstandings, and it leads to a lot of missed opportunities. So you definitely want to avoid being too passive. It is not an attractive trait. And I'm just going to throw this out there. Of course, she should not be too passive in the relationship as well. Okay, I don't want to make it sound like only a man should be proactive about the relationship. That is not remotely true at all. However, make sure that you are being proactive. It takes two invested people to make a relationship work. And this leads us right to the next mistake, the dating trap you want to avoid. And this is the opposite. This is being too aggressive. Being too pushy or overly aggressive can drive the other person away. It can make them feel very uncomfortable. This is especially true for women. Women have to feel safe in a relationship in order to want to be in it. And so being super aggressive, for instance, like telling her you have feelings for her too soon before there's that emotional connection, or trying to rush it, rush the relationship, or rush touch, things like that. That is way too aggressive, and it will completely kill the relationship very early on. Okay, this next dating mistake, they're all easy to make. So if you've made any or several of these, it's okay, deep breath. That doesn't make you a terrible person or a terrible potential partner. These are easy to make. That's why we're talking about them. This mistake is talking too much about yourself. Tell me if you've ever been in this situation. I certainly have. Everybody has at some point, especially because if you're not taught what to do about it, what you gonna do, right? It's very easy to, when you get nervous, just start talking about yourself. Like, what else are you going to talk about? And some of that is even a good thing. When we're dating, we want to get to know the other person. And if you just don't talk about yourself at all, okay, now you're just, how is she supposed to get to know you, right? So it's not that you can never talk about yourself, but sometimes when we're nervous or we're trying to impress someone, we can just talk about ourselves all the time, and it gets boring really fast. Instead, it's important to show genuine interest in what she's saying and in who she is and her interests and her feelings. If she feels like all you care about is yourself, it's very, very off-putting. Maybe you've known women like that. It's not fun. This next mistake is a big one. This is to be too negative. I can't tell you, I've been doing this coaching thing for a long time, and I can't tell you how many people I have received messages from, or DMs or comments, and they're like, love is a lie. No women ever look at me. Women are all stupid. I'm giving up on love. But you look at their profile picture and it looks something like this. Do you really think anybody's going to want to date someone like this? Instead, I know how hard it can be, because everyone has to do this. I've had to do this. Everybody has to continue to do this. We have to look inward, and we have to say, am I part of the problem? It's like the scariest question ever. But if you will actually address that, it transforms everything. How you feel about yourself, how you see yourself, how you feel about the world, how other people see you. And so being too negative is incredibly off-putting. This is one of the main things I see keep people single, who don't have to be single. Like, they can be happily married, but they're too negative for someone to want to spend their life with them. So constantly complaining or focusing on the negative aspects of life, sometimes this is even just ranting about the news and things like that. It's very off-putting, it dampens the mood, and it pushes people away. Okay, the next mistake might surprise a couple people. And this mistake is not setting any boundaries. Sometimes we think the nicer we are, the less we set boundaries. And the less we set boundaries, the more people will like us. But that's not the case. People feel more comfortable when they understand what the boundary is. They also tend to respect you more. In addition to that, you got to protect yourself, right? You got to set the relationship up for success. And one way we do that is by setting those boundaries early on. Now, resentment grows and festers when we don't set boundaries and when our boundaries aren't met. We feel resentful about it, whether we mean to or not. So it's critical to have those healthy boundaries, to know what they are and to set them early on. Okay, the next dating mistake is being too eager to please. Continuing to sacrifice your own needs and desires in a relationship causes imbalance, and it leads to dissatisfaction. It can cause some of that resentment that we just talked about. Being too eager to please is very, very common, especially when you're just trying to be a kind, nice person. You can be kind, you can be nice while still having your own self-respect and your own boundaries. So you do not have to sacrifice everything that you love, that's important to you, that you desire for a relationship. And there you have it, my friend, 10 crucial mistakes to avoid if you want to transform your dating life. But wait, there's one more thing you need to do. If you found these tips helpful and you're ready to dive deeper, I invite you to join me in my online program, Attracting Lasting Love Academy. It's designed specifically for men like you who want to become high value, attractive by default, and meet the woman of your dreams. So don't miss this opportunity to change your love life forever. Sign up for my new free masterclass now to learn more and get started on your journey to success in love. I just went through and redid my entire masterclass, and I am teaching more in this masterclass than I've ever been able to before. I did save our 5-minute confidence boosting exercise, so don't worry, you do get to see that. But make sure you take advantage of this all new masterclass right now. Just go to coachmelannie.com/masterclass. I'll put a link in the description below and a link in the pinned comments. I can't wait to see you there and share these secrets with you. As we wrap this up, a huge thank you to everyone who's so incredible with the super thanks. Thank you for supporting Christian, godly, high quality content. I'm noticing a trend on YouTube. It's getting less and less family friendly, which really makes me sad. So knowing that there are so many of you supporting wholesome content really warms my heart. So thank you. And whether you've ever used the super thanks before or not, if you are enjoying this and want to see more of it, consider using the super thanks today. Just click the link below this video. Thank you so much again, my amazing friend, and have an amazing day. So let's get started with I almost said step number 1. This is not a step. This is a mistake. There's a difference. Step number, I did it again. Okay. The next sign, oh yeah. I did sign again. It's a sign. Mistake. I was like, what am I supposed to say? I don't remember. It's mistake. Okay. Hi, secret end of the video club. I have a special word for us today. It is peaches. Why? Because those are my favorite fruit. I just think they're so good. And I only get them like once a year, but they're like amazing. Like I just eat them plain. I don't even need them in anything. They just taste so good. So anyway, bonus question. Tell me what your favorite fruit is in the comments as well. Thank you so much for being here. Comment peaches so I know you watched to the end. You are amazing, and I'll see you in the next one. I think I did it. I finished the video. You gotta celebrate all the little things in life. The little things are big things, especially when you make as many videos as I do. It's a lot of videos. Okay, bye.